to read this article right here because I don't even know Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried. This is the guy who was the leader of the FTX market that crashed a couple months ago, and like they lost like what $20 billion worth of cryptocurrency or money or something like that. Well, pretty much his bail was revoked on Friday, and let's see what he's talking about. Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of the collapsed cryptocurrency exchange FTX, was sent to jail on Friday after a federal judge in New York revoked his bail, accusing him of trying to influence witnesses who are poised to testify against him at a widely anticipated trial in less than 2 months. I put money the coverage on this trial is going to be minuscule. That's just my innate feeling, because this dude, of all that money he supposedly lost, he donated about 90 million to like political campaigns and whatnot, and like donations. That's a lot of money for political campaigns. Mr. Bankman-Fried has been under house arrest at his parents' house in Palo Alto, California, since he was arrested in December. Now, I'm pretty sure this dude not really a dude that probably been in jail a lot. So for him to actually risk his freedom before this big trial that might end up with him doing some serious time, for him to put to jeopardize that freedom to try to intimidate these witnesses, your boy probably in a real compromising situation right now. No cap. 2D chess though. But let's figure out how this happened though. On fraud charges stemming from the FTX implosion. But at a hearing on Friday, Judge Louis A. Kaplan of the Federal District Court in Manhattan said that arrangement would have to end after prosecutors argued that Mr. Bankman-Fried had twice tried to interfere with witnesses in the case. Twice? Shit. Including by giving documents to reporters. He has gone up to the line over and over again. I'm going to revoke bail, Judge Kaplan said from the bench. After the order was read aloud, 2 U.S. Marshals had Mr. Bankman-Fried remove his tie and navy suit jacket as they prepared to handcuff him. Damn. His mother, Barbara Fried, in attendance with his father, tried to approach him, but a court officer caused her to stand back. He was taken to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Tough. One of Mr. Bankman-Fried's lawyer, Mark Cohen, said in court that he intended to appeal. Judge Kaplan said he wouldn't wait for the outcome of that effort before sending Mr. Bankman-Fried to jail. Damn. The courtroom scene was the latest humiliating blow to Mr. Bankman-Fried since the cryptocurrency company fell apart in one of the most stunning corporate crashes in recent history. Humiliating blow? He was up 20 bill. I heard he was just playing with that money. He was just taking the investors' money, moving it here, doing this, doing that. You pay the cost to be the boss, though. FTX rode the highs of the virtual currency market to become one of the industry's leading companies before filing for bankruptcy. After a run on deposits last fall. What? Over a few weeks, Mr. Bankman-Fried went from being an industry titan courted by politicians and celebrities. Yeah, we know why he's being courted by politicians. To a criminal defendant facing decades in prison. God damn. Let me see. This is better. Traders rushed to withdraw from FTX, causing the company to have a $8 billion shortfall. Binance offered a loan to save the company, but later pulled out for FTX to file for bankruptcy. Binance was about to cover $8 billion for them to save them? What the hell? Binance up like that? Now we have to prepare for this trial scheduled to begin October 2nd from a jail cell. That's tough. The court dispute over his bail focused on a New York Times article published last month that described private writings by Caroline Ellison, an executive in Mr. Bankman-Fried's business empire who had also dated him. Big L. Miss Ellison has pleaded guilty to fraud charges and agreed to cooperate with prosecutors investigating Mr. Bankman-Fried. Big L. Bay turned on him too. Oh my god. In court filings, prosecutors said Mr. Bankman-Fried had given the documents to the Times to intimidate Mrs. Ellison by casting her in a negative light before his trial. They also noted Mr. Bankman-Fried numerous conversations with others in the media, including the author Michael Lewis, who is writing a book about FTX that is set for publication the week the trial begins. Oh, my boy trying to get his coins up. I wonder what's going to come out in that book. I should probably follow that. As the bail issue was debated in court filings over recent weeks, Judge Kaplan imposed a temporary gag order preventing the FTX founder and his representatives from speaking to the media. Lawyers from Mr. Bankman-Fried said that by giving the documents to the Times, he had been exercising his right to answer an inquiry from the media and had not breached the terms of his bail agreement. The Times, the Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press, and a documentarian making a film about Mr. Bankman-Fried each submitted a court filing raising First Amendment concerns about the gag order. The status of the order was not immediately clear after Bankman-Fried was sent to jail on Friday, but in court, Judge Kaplan said that the defendant's speech is not protected if it is to bring about a crime. He said he had concluded that Mr. Bankman-Fried's communication with the media in a separate attempt to contact a former FTX employee was intended to intimidate or also to influence witnesses in the case. A spokesman for Mr. Bankman-Fried declined to comment. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney Office for the Southern District of New York, one of the most aggressive districts in terms of prosecution, as I've heard a couple of times from other entities. It's going to be a tough one, an uphill battle for Mr. Bankman-Fried, which is prosecuting Mr. Bankman-Fried did not respond to a request for a comment. Mr. Bankman-Fried was also arrested in the Bahamas, where FTX was based, after the company collapsed during the turbulent week in November. He was charged with using customers' deposits to finance lavish real estate purchases, political donations, and charitable incentives. After a few days in jail in the Bahamas, he was extradited to the United States and released on highly restricted bail conditions that require him to wear an ankle monitor and confined him to his parents' house. He has pled not guilty. Since his release, Mr. Bankman-Fried has been reprimanded repeatedly for his behavior that prosecutors said puts the boundaries of what he was allowed to do while awaiting trial. Damn, my boy is... Damn, he was rattling outside the pen. In court filings in January, the prosecutors presented evidence that he had sent messages to a former FTX executive who had been a witness in the case, asking to speak with him. Damn. He did that by himself? He had nobody to do that for him? They also said Mr. Bankman-Fried used a VPN, virtual private network, a tool they claimed could disguise how he was using the internet while awaiting trial. So he just couldn't even use VPNs at all. Wow. I wonder what he was cooking up. At the time, Judge Kaplan ordered Mr. Bankman-Fried to submit to tighter bail requirements that restricted which websites he can use, prevented him from communicating with former FTX employees. Visits to his parents' house were prohibited from taking phones or computers inside. Wow. Damn. They had him in a gulag. The aftermath of FTX's bail revoked, withdrawn charges. Well, at least he had some charges dropped. They also shed light on a former Hollywood who connected banks to celebrities in public like Katy Perry, Orlando Bloom, and Bill Clinton. The implosion of FTX has drawn attention to the little-known Wall Street firm where Bankman-Fried started his career. He was drawn there because of his interest in effective altruism. The hell does that even mean? Either or, while it's uncommon for bail to be revoked, especially so close to a trial date, it does happen when judges are convinced that the defendant's actions pose a threat to the community or to witnesses. Judges have a good bit of discretion on revoking bail, said Eric Gordon, a law and business professional at the University of Michigan. If you're out on bail, you don't want to come within a mile of doing anything that could be seen as an attempt to coerce your witness. I would agree with him on this one, and I'm not even a goddamn judge myself. Or a law and business professor. W job. The article about Miss Ellison's included excerpts from private Google documents addressed to Mr. Bankman-Fried with raw reflections on their relationship and her insecurities about her role as a chief executive of Alameda Research, a hedge fund that Mr. Bankman-Fried founded. In court, prosecutors argued that the sensitive nature of the writing showed that Mr. Bankman-Fried was seeking to intimidate and discredit his former girlfriend. God. No set of release conditions can ensure the safety of community. Danielle Sassoon. Sassoon? Listen, I'm hungry and a little bit tired right now. Excuse me. One of the prosecutors said at a hearing last month, the defendant has also shown that he is intent on exploiting the conditions of release and improperly influencing this trial. Sound like he already got the job done. Ask me. For Judge Kaplan, the article about Mrs. Ellison was the final straw. Mr. Bankman-Fried messages to the former FTX executive who served as the general counsel of the firm's U.S. arm seemed designed to get him to sing from the same hymn book. Judge Kaplan said on Friday, and by sharing documents with the Times, he said Mr. Bankman-Fried intended to portray Ms. Ellison in an unfavorable light. As Mr. Bankman-Fried lawyers fought to keep the bail arrangement in place, they argued that conditions at the Brooklyn Detention Center would make it difficult for him to prepare for trial. Yeah, I bet. Judge Kaplan said he was open to the possibility of transferring Mr. Bankman-Fried to a facility that would provide more consistent internet access, like a detention center in Putnam County, New York. He said he was also willing to consider an arrangement that would allow Mr. Bankman-Fried to meet with lawyers at their office under heavy security. Oh, that's tough. Look how that money works for you, man. I wonder how many inmates is allowed that privilege. For now, though, Mr. Bankman-Fried will be housed at the federal facility in Brooklyn. Damn. In court filings, his lawyers argued that the jail was facing a staffing crisis and that people held there typically had limited computer access. Isn't that the jail that 6 hours at? I'm all bugging. The location is not on anyone's list of 5-star facilities, Judge Kaplan acknowledged on Friday. Well, apparently Mr. Bankman-Fried is back in the clink, man, for trying to intimidate a witness. Let me see what's in that article. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, let's see. What's that? Here we go. Bro, I reached my limit? Oh, hell no. What else you got?